Nut world where everyone is losing their minds over Baby Nut every day, every moment. You wake up and remember Baby Nut exists, and you just
Okay, so I caught the game. I was driving, and then I caught the second half of the game. I don't know what Baby Nut is, and I don't understand.
So are you aware of the Mr. Peanut ad campaign where they were going to kill Mr. Peanut?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So this was a thing for people who don't know because you're not, I don't know, online all the time. Planters announced like a week ago that Mr. Peanut was going to die. They were going to kill their famous mascot, Mr. Peanut. They listed like how old he was, and they did like a memorial for him on Twitter. And then they said, okay, so that commercial where he fucking dies is going to air before the Super Bowl. And then during the Super Bowl, we're going to have a commercial that is Mr. Peanut's funeral. And they followed through on that.
Didn't they cancel it because of Kobe?
They
Wasn't that,
talked
like, part
about,
of
I
it?
think what they did is they didn't air the one where he dies, but the one with his funeral is still in there. And they had Mr. Peanut's funeral, and at Mr. Peanut's funeral, it is revealed that there is a new Planters mascot that is a baby version of a peanut with eyes, with big googly eyes. And they went with the name #BabyNut, which is one of the most vile things I've ever heard in my entire life. Where I was watching it.
That is so good.
I was watching it with my wife, and the commercial played, and I was like, oh, so that's what they're doing. They're having like a new cute, like Baby Yoda-esque Mr. Peanut. And then at the very end, just at the bottom of the screen, it says #BabyNut. And I was like, what? Excuse me?
This is like so in your wheelhouse of just being like, this is fucking. I wish I was sitting next to you when that happened.
I lost my mind. I was like, you can't say Baby Nut on the Super Bowl?
It's so many different connotations of terrible.
But so I imagine we're all still talking about that 3 days from now, 3 weeks from
That
now.
or when Shakira did like a fucking tongue.
Yeah, when she went for no reason, everyone was like, what?
I tweeted that, I texted you, or at the group chat, I guess, and then I was like, that's a good tweet, I gotta do it, and everybody was 30 times faster than me, and with a better GIF.
I know.
Like, they had the GIF from it, and I was like, oh, I'm not funny enough to be on the internet.
I've been off Twitter for so long, it didn't even occur to me to tweet something about Baby Nut until like 10 minutes later, and by the time I looked, my entire phone just was covered in Baby Nut. Like, I couldn't use it. Welcome in, everybody. This is a philosophy podcast where we have a few drinks and we talk about philosophy. We're not going to talk about the Super Bowl anymore. I can't promise we're not going to talk about Baby Nut anymore. But
I think we'll be talking about Baby Nut for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we will be not talking about the Super Bowl because it's over and nobody cares anymore. But we're going to be talking about some philosophy today. I'm telling both the audience and Connor right now. Actually, you guys already know this because you looked at the title. But this is going to be a...
Yeah, what do you think, you're fucking better than me? You just looked at a fucking title we wrote for you.
This is going to be a part one of one of our famous miniseries that we do. We're famous for it. It's going to be on our tombstones when we die, like Mr. Peanut, before baby versions of us comes back.
Joe, can you put in like some nice orchestral music right here?
He's
Like,
definitely not going to do that.
yeah, when we do our mini series, it's like, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun, 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 dun.
like PBS Masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly.
So we do this occasionally. We did one for Kant over the summer. We did a short one for Kropotkin, I think. Really anyone with last name that starts with K, I guess. But we do sort of a deeper dive on one particular philosopher or individual, and we talk about them over multiple episodes, and it lets us gives us a little breathing room to actually, I don't know, maybe teach.
And I
us
sound
some
way
stuff.
smarter in the second
That's
one.
true.
Because it's like right there on my brain.
actually
We
remember
record these
shit.
in batches.
But before we get into what we're exactly talking about this week and in the next coming weeks, I have to ask you, Connor, what are you drinking?
Drinking a White Claw, natural lime.
Claws out. No laws.
Claws
when
out.
drinking claws. I am drinking a Firestone DBA Double Barrel Ale. I think they put it.
I've
in
always
2
hated
different
that
barrels.
one.
It's a bit malty. I think this used to be the kind of beer I would like, and I ordered it as one of like the 3 beers that we had for our wedding. And I think I hadn't had it in like 5 or 6 years, but just off of the distributor's list we were looking at, I was like, I think I remember liking that.
Yeah, I think I met Elizabeth when I liked this.
Yeah, basically. It's also like from San Luis Obispo area, so it made sense, I guess, because I had.
Firestone was never a brewery I liked. Didn't like it.
Okay, sorry.
And that's why your wedding was the worst.
I know, yeah.
I hated
Sorry, I
it.
invited you to my wedding, I guess. This is also from the last 6-pack that I have from the wedding beer. So it's been over just about 6 months now, and I'm just polishing off the beer. Still got a few bottles of bourbon. Definitely got some bottles of triple sec that I'm going to be hanging on to for a few years.
I think when you finish all of the alcohol from your wedding, you have to redo your nuptials.
I think so, for sure. I'll take the final 1.75 liter bottle of vodka and like break it on the ground and be like, we're getting remarried. All right, business taken care of. Let's talk about some shit because I have a lot of notes for this first episode. A few weeks back, we did an episode on George Orwell, and I threatened that I may at some point in the future do an episode on Leon Trotsky. That time has come. I know we had some people who sent in suggestions for future episodes recently, and I have written those down, and I will follow through on them, but I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I finally pulled the trigger on it because I knew it was going to be a little bit of work for me. So, who the heck was this frickin' Leon Trotsky guy?
You asking me?
Yeah, please tell our listeners. You did the research, right? Did you not get my text?
Oh, shit. I was supposed to do the research on all of this?
So, first of all, for people who just have no idea who we're talking about, who Leon Trotsky is, you have no frame of reference for him. Leon Trotsky was a Russian revolutionary from the first half of the 20th century and a central figure in the socialist revolution in Russia. Many people saw him as being sort of the natural successor to Vladimir Lenin, who was the central leader of the revolution. But as we'll see, things didn't go exactly that way, and instead we were left with our old pal Joseph Stalin and his nice little cookie duster of a mustache.
Oh, God, I want to live in that thing.
I know, it's beautiful. You know, a fun fact about Stalin, before we get deep into his arch rival, I learned just today, I think, this was this morning, my man was like 5'5" or something. Stalin was like 5'5".
Shorter than me?
Yeah.
I already have a hard time pulling anybody.
Yeah.
Ladies, man, who cares?
I believe Nikita Khrushchev was like 5'3". He's like Danny DeVito size. And then Stalin was only like 5'5" and used to...
Is he baby nut size?
He's baby nut size. Stalin, I think, was like 5'5", who would basically just like wear lifts when he had to go hang out with Winston Churchill and stuff. Actually, Churchill probably wasn't that tall either, and I guess FDR was in a wheelchair, so he kind of...
Dude, that's the ultimate